When Nigeria is working, we will all know.
PDP and us are diametrically opposed.
SaharaTV, TV, the best TV, information, education, inspiration. SaharaTV,
I am from SaharaTV. I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Information, education, inspiration. SaharaTV, they get mouth, they get mouth.
Hi viewers, welcome back to SaharaTV. My name is Hi viewers, welcome back to SaharaTV. My name is Adeola Fayon, and this is our Inspire segment where we like to interview someone that we think they have stories that can inspire you. And today our guest has actually overcome some obstacles in order for her to become the scientist that she is today. It's none other than Nengi Lawson, and she's from Abonema in Rivers State of Nigeria. She graduated with a first-class degree in microbiology from Bowen University, that's the Baptist University in Osun State of Nigeria. And she just concluded her master's program in molecular biology with biotechnology from Bangor University in Wales, United Kingdom, with distinction. Now, her master's research is actually why we decided to interview her today, because she was able to identify a particular gene in sphagnum that would be useful to the global community in terms of how we deal with global warming. Now, I know this is an interview with a scientist. We will be careful not to use terms that are too technical for our viewers, but we'll try to make it to use layman terms. So, Ms. Nengi, welcome to SaharaTV.
Thank you very much.
All right, so we're going to come back to talk about all the obstacles that you had to overcome to become the scientist that you are today. But tell us right now what's going on. You were able to discover a particular gene that would be useful in terms of global warming. So can you tell us a little bit about this?
Yes. My master's program was titled The Identification of the Phenylpropanoid Genes in Sphagnum. Well, sphagnum is a plant that does not degrade easily in peatlands, and as a result of this, it helps this environment to act as like a carbon reservoir. But with the recent activities of global warming, human activities, these plants have started degrading. The need for the identification of these genes. When these genes are being identified, we will be able to manipulate the phenolic compounds found in this sphagnum plant.
I see. So sphagnum is actually decays gradually, and they store carbon so that they can reduce the release of carbon into the atmosphere, which results in the global warming, right?
Yes.
Okay. And so, yeah, keep going. So you're saying that right now, because of human activities, that the carbon is starting to, the sphagnums are starting to decay faster. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. And as a result of that, peatlands will now serve as like, the peatlands will help to release carbon into the atmosphere. You know, we are battling with global warming right now. And
yeah.
If this happens, I really don't know how it's going to be with our atmosphere. I don't really know how it's going to be, but with these phenolic compounds, which help sphagnum not to degrade easily, if they are manipulated, we can decrease it. We can decrease their rapid decomposition right now. Okay, so just for the viewers to understand what we're talking about global warming, and there is this particular like bunch of plants known as sphagnums, and they actually store carbon so that they can reduce the effect of global warming.
but because of human activities, according to Miss Nengi, because of human activities now, these plants are starting to release carbon, and that is very dangerous for the atmosphere. So, but Miss Nengi was able to discover something that no scientist has discovered. Nengi, you want to tell us about that?
Right now, before the onset of my project, no molecular biology research had been carried out on this sphagnum plant. Now, what we did was that we used relatively closely related organisms in which these genes have been identified, and we're able to identify that of sphagnum. And with this, and with the identification of this gene, I believe we can manipulate the phenylpropanoid pathway of these compounds that helps sphagnum to degrade slowly in peatlands.
Okay, so you were able to identify a particular gene in sphagnum. So if this gene is well manipulated, we can increase this gene, and this gene actually helps to slow down the decay process of sphagnums. That's what you're saying?
Yes. Can I say something here?
Yeah,
please?
go ahead.
These genes, like, you know, in sphagnum, they have what they call the lignin in their cell walls. Lignin does not allow them to degrade easily in the cell walls, and these genes are responsible for lignins. So if this is increased, lignin will be increased as well, and they won't be able to degrade.
I see.
Yeah.
So just for our viewers to understand it better, the gene that Nengi discovered in sphagnum is the one that is responsible for slowing down the decaying process of sphagnums, which means we can help these plants to actually store the carbon instead of releasing them into the atmosphere, which is dangerous for the atmosphere, which contributes to global warming. So, but the gene that Nengi has discovered, if it's well manipulated and they're able to increase them, then the decay processing of sphagnums would take longer. So it would take longer for them to release carbon into the atmosphere. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, but that is a great discovery that you were the one that was able to discover this gene. Tell us how you were able to discover it.
Well, we used some biological experimental techniques, which is called PCR, polymerase chain reaction. Basically, that was how I discovered it. I used closely related organisms to these sphagnum plants. And I was able to do what they call the code hub primer design.
Okay.
And I was able to amplify that gene because we sent it for sequencing in Germany, and it came back positive as the ammonia lyase gene, which is part of the phenylpropanoid pathway. So it confirmed it.
Wow. This is not just useful for Nigeria or Africa, it's the whole world, because the whole world is facing the effects of global warming. I mean, we just had the hurricane here in New York, and that is also, you know, due to global warming. And, you know, Al Gore has been warning us for quite some time about taking global warming seriously. So right now, Nengi, you are like hot cake in terms of the scientific world when it comes to dealing with global warming. So very quickly, I also wanted you to touch on the fact that the environment where you find the sphagnums, there is no oxygen there. But right now, you were telling me earlier that the activities of human beings, like evaporation and stuff, has been introducing oxygen to the environment of this sphagnum. So what is that doing to the sphagnums?
Okay, well, peatlands are generally, they have what we call the high water table. And as a result of this, oxygen is not made available in this environment.
Okay.
A consequence of this is that microorganisms will not be able to degrade these sphagnum plants easily.
And we don't want them to degrade them quickly, right?
We don't want them to degrade
because
them.
if they degrade them, they would release carbon into the atmosphere, and that's dangerous. Okay.
So, but with recent human activities such as burning, you know, increased temperature and all that, the water table is being reduced. And as a result of that, oxygen is being made available for them. And they are able to produce the enzyme called phenol oxidase. Okay. Phenol oxidase acts rapidly on phenolic compounds in sphagnum, which degrades them easily.
I see. So, but with the help of this gene that you have discovered, we can slow down the decaying process of the sphagnum?
Yes, we can. But I should let you know, please, that this is not the only gene. There are other genes. There are other genes of the pathway. But with what I have been able to do, some other person can be able to discover the other genes as well. I mean, if I've discovered one and somebody discovers the other one, and further research is being carried out on this, it's going to be a bomb. It's going to be, wow. I don't know. It's going to help us.
Huh. So, in terms of helping us, what's what's the reality in terms of when do you think this can go into effect? When can, you scientists, when can you put this into effect that it would actually help global warming?
If the research is carried out immediately, I mean, immediately everything can come to place. If the further research is being carried out, yeah,
I see.
Everything can come into place.
I see. And if we're able to reduce the number of carbon released into the atmosphere, how will that translate into helping global warming?
I think maybe if we are able to carry out this research,
yes,
for example, it will help. It will go a long way by reducing it by some percentages. Because if peatlands are releasing this carbon into the environment in a large amount, but if we're able to curb this, what is happening can be reduced by little or more. I think it's significant to a significant level with this project.
So like hurricanes may be reduced, floods may be reduced. Yeah. I see. This is a big issue, and we're so proud of you that you've contributed this into the scientific world. But then, Nengi, it wasn't always rosy. Can you tell us a little bit about the challenge that you had to overcome for you to be able to study this master's program that helped you to discover the gene?
Yes, I can. The first and foremost, I'll say to God Almighty. To God Almighty. And secondly, I would like to say a big thank you to the publisher of Sahara Reporters, Sir Omoyele Showore. His listening ears made me to be where I am today. Yes, because I won a scholarship, a Canadian scholarship, E8 scholarship, and I was at the verge of losing the scholarship. But I sent him a letter and told him of my situation, and he gave me a listening ear and published my story on his website. Upon reading this, I got a call from the Office of the Presidency through the NDDC, and I was funded.
I see. So just for our viewers that may not know your story, it was published on Sahara Reporters' website last year. Was it last year? Yeah, I think it was last year.
Yes, May 26th.
Yes, and what had happened is that Nengi got a scholarship to go to this university in UK, that is Bangor University. And she got a $23,000 scholarship. Out of $30,000, she needed $30,000, but the school was willing to give her $23,000 on the condition that she would have to raise $7,000 on her own. Unfortunately for her, she couldn't raise the money on her own, and her father had passed away. And before he passed away, though, her father was late engineer B.A. Lawson, who was the former managing director of the Niger Delta Basin Development Authority. So, Nengi, you went to the Niger Delta Basin Development Authority hoping they could help you to raise the money, right?
I went to NDDC, which is Niger Delta Development Commission.
Oh, yeah, you went to NDDC.
Niger
Sorry
Delta
about that.
Yes, NDDC.
Okay. And so you were hoping they would help you to raise the $7,000 that you needed in order for you not to lose the $23,000 scholarship.
Yes, they assisted through Honorable Moses Sikolo Siase, whom I'm grateful to.
Okay. So Nengi was telling me that at first they drove her and her mom away. Was that correct? Yes. But then through Honorable Siase, they were able to raise you part of the money. And then you went to UK. So what are the things that you had to do for you to raise the money on your own when you got to UK?
When I got to the UK, I took up a job as a cleaner
to
assist myself 20 hours a week.
20 hours a week. Wow. You were cleaning for 20 hours a week and going to school full time. And yes, and that was how you were able to put yourself through school.
Yes.
I see. Quite challenging, right?
Very challenging.
Running from daytime, nighttime to school full time. But you made it. Now you're done with the master's program, and you're just waiting for your results. And in the meantime, you were able to discover this gene. So can you have some kind of words to, you know, people that may be in similar situations? First of all, let's talk about, you know, the brains in Nigeria. You graduated with distinction from Bowen University. There are so many young people that are so talented in Nigeria. Tell me about the opportunity that you had in the UK. Do you, if many people have the same opportunity, do you think that Nigerian students would excel better than most students?
Definitely, if people in Nigeria have the opportunity I have today, yes, they will. I think some of the opportunities I enjoy here is no strike. The resources available, the environment is favorable. These are one of the things I really enjoy here.
What about practical training versus theory?
Yes, that's another thing again. The practical here is really, really, really interesting, more than that of Nigeria. More practical here, yes. The equipments are all there.
I see.
All that I've been seeing in textbooks, I've made use of them today.
It's funny that you said all that you've been seeing in textbooks, because it looks like most schools in Nigeria, we're so much into theory. We have so many things crammed in our head, but we may learn about something for years and never see what we're learning about. So, but you're telling us that in your case, when you got to the UK, that you're able to see what you were learning.
Yes, practically, yeah.
Practically. So, but how can we improve our education system, though, in terms of like our research and stuff like that, so that we can have the same opportunity as people outside Nigeria?
I think the government has to invest more in research areas. I don't think we really have good research, like say research departments in Nigeria or research institutions in Nigeria. We don't really have that. And also for the educational system, I think the government, not only the government as well, but other bodies as well, should come together, because it's a general problem in our educational system. The government and every other person concerned should come together and find solution to this problem, because I know there are people who are better than me out there, but they don't have the opportunity which I have today.
Nengi, if you were to be in Nigeria, would you have discovered this gene that you discovered?
I'm sorry to say no.
If you were schooling in Nigeria for your master's program, you don't think you would have made this discovery? Why did you say that?
I think the research, like what I said, resources, strike, and the environment is not really favorable compared to the UK here. No.
I see. Okay, so Nengi, can you talk a little bit to Nigerian students who have so many great aspirations and they don't know how to, you know, follow their dreams in terms of going outside to study? Can you encourage somebody today to go after their dream?
First and foremost, if I'll say, I'm sorry, maybe I'm diverting from what you said. I just want to say a big thank you to the president and his ADC as well for being there, for giving me that compassionate heart as well. To the Nigerian students, I would say perseverance. Do not give up. And also, do not trust in man, but in God. Continue. You will always get it. Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up. You will come through obstacles and challenges, but don't give up.
So, but just like Nengi is saying, if you're a Nigerian student and if you get some kind of scholarship to go to school here, even if you don't have everything, you should come. When you come here, you may have to do some dirty jobs. I mean, we all had to do it. The cleaning, babysitting, house sitting, everything. But you never know what would happen. Just like Nengi, now she made this discovery. And you were telling me, Nengi, that you've been offered some opportunities to further your research by doing PhD.
Yes, I have offers for PhD. Yeah, I have.
That's wonderful, and we wish you the very best of luck in whatever you decide to do. Thank you so much again for coming on SaharaTV.
Thank you very much. You're welcome.
All right. So, viewers, that has been Nengi Lawson, a scientist presently in the UK, working on a gene that she discovered that could help in tackling global warming. Coming up next, we have Keeping It Real. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Bye.
My name is Tiwa Savage, aka Miss Oh My God, Maven all day, every day, and you are watching Sahara TV all the way from New York City. Everything